Well, the biggest myth about the Black Panther Party was that we were cop killers.
If anything ever happened to them, I'll teach you so you never forget.
There was a lot of turbulence in the 60s. You know, black people was trying to identify themselves. They were moving from being Negroes to being black and understanding they came from Africa and realized that the black people was a part of the worldwide struggle.
When the party started in '68, that's basically how we got going. We basically got going because the leadership felt the extreme concern and love for the ordinary African in the African American community, for the poor people, for the people who didn't have boilers in their houses.
Indeed, initially the organization was named, its former name was the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Police brutality was rampant in the black community throughout the United States. So Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton formed an organization to address this very important issue.
Well, the New York chapter of the Black Panther Party came into being after Eldridge Cleaver had visited New York. He spoke at this theater downtown in the Village, and the place was packed. And the Panthers were at that time in the news. They had traveled to the capital of California armed in order to protest the passage of laws that would disarm African people.
Castling is a defensive move. Much how we live today. See those men over there? Yeah. Well, perhaps they're on the defensive. Perhaps something very tragic happened to them.
It was this grand conspiracy developed that became known as New York 21. And it was 21 of us indicted for a whole host of charges. After some time acquitted of all those charges because it was really orchestrated by an organization called COINTELPRO, which we had no idea what the hell it was. Another department is called Bureau of Special Services, BOSS, and of course agents that were in the party.
On April 2nd, I believe it was, 1969, the police department had raided my apartment. So I said, well, who's in charge? He said, well, the lieutenant is. I said, well, I'm a lieutenant of the Black Panther Party security section. And then they took me and handcuffed me again and put me down in the Volkswagen, took me downtown where the rest of my comrades and brothers and sisters were. That's when I seen Gene Robbins, who was the gold badge can police, in this cubic office, sitting looking like he was depressed. Found out later on that he was part of the conspiracy to help to destroy the Harlem branch of the Black Panther Party.
April 3rd, the police called my mother. And the police were asking for me as to where I was. I in turn called the police and told them where I was. And they asked me if I can have visitors. And I said, sure. I'm in room, whatever room it was, I have no idea, I don't remember. They told my doctor that I was a Black Panther, a conspirator to blow up police stations and the botanical gardens in the Bronx, and whatever else they said. And they handcuffed me and took me to prison.
See, Joan got busted in your car about an hour ago at the Harlem River Drive, and the pigs looking for two brothers who broke camp after Pfizer exchange.
Damn, pigs always busting cars on the drive, man. Hey, she all right? I just seen you at the phone booth, and they go say cool.
But this was Yewa's whole deal.
Then later on, they took this brother's name, Yewa Sedan. Ralph White is his real name. He brought him in with a sawed-off shotgun, because I remember that at his house. And he come in like he was depressed. And this was some of the agents that they were bringing in while they had rounded up the so-called 21.
Just imitates life. You'll have to leave your opponent motionless.
But COINTELPRO was systemic. There were line agents who were involved. The Attorney General certainly knew or should have known of what was going on. And certainly later, when Panthers were, after it was successful in causing a split in the party and certain Panthers went underground.
Every day, the prosecutor met with the Judge Murtaugh. Every day, they would meet after court and decide how they were going to proceed the next day, ex parte, without us being there. There was, this has been proven, documented. The prosecution in the Panther 21 case worked hand in hand with the judge in order to secure a conviction.
So you say that I'm a criminal, you say that I'm this or that, but history will prove, history will absolve me. History will find me not guilty. History will find that I was a freedom fighter, fighting a corrupt government. And Afeni was inspired by that, and Afeni wanted to do the same thing with her case, for herself, but on behalf of other people.
Mama, they just came to us. They dragged me out of the car, kicked me, beat me, cursed me. Mama, they put handcuffs on me with my hands behind my back on the ground.
But then when bail started coming, we had to decide, well, unbelievably, somebody could get bail out, so who should it be? And first it was decided Afeni, because Afeni was very articulate, and because she was a woman, we felt that she could raise money.
In the Panther 21 case, they were all held on $100,000 bail. A couple of the female defendants, Joan Bird and Afeni Shakur, were bailed out relatively within a few months, I believe, of the charges. Sundiata was not.
Without a plan, you can't foresee counter chances. So you give up your position.
We studied underground. We didn't just, it wasn't just about guns and bombs and that sort of thing. I mean, we had to study. From the day of the Black Panther Party till the last blah person went to prison, I mean, we studied. You know, it wasn't just about all-armed struggling.
From my understanding, what we call the Black Liberation Army really is a concept more than an organization, but more of a concept. That evolves maybe into an organization, but it starts out as a movement concept.
The time that Black people stepped foot on the shores of North America. But to answer the question in more contemporary times, I would take the position that the BLA arose out of the Black Panther Party.
The ultimate goal of the Black Panther Party was to make itself obsolete. The ultimate goal of the Black Panther Party was to enlist every black man and woman and child in the liberation struggle, fighting in whatever way they could, you know, whether it's in the classroom or the courtroom or the street. And so that you would have a Black Liberation Party and a Black Liberation Army that would then be the next logical step, that everyone, it was like the People's Army.
There's an ancestral thing here as well, you know, that when you take this on unconditionally, when you do not allow yourself to be, as Malcolm say, bamboozled, then you know that your goals is the total liberation of black people. And therefore those who even pick up guns, those who even kill, those who even kidnap, those who even bomb, are your freedom fighters.
Because we needed people to deliver our consequences for us. Because when we say, if we don't do this or this is going to happen, we need people to deliver that for us.
Underground, it can be a lot of paranoia. It's exciting in other ways, but a lot of paranoia. Because you know the moment that you're under, you know that from local police to the FBI are going to be looking for you. Because usually you went totally under after an action, you know. So you have to prepare yourself now to live almost with a constant tension.
Right on.
safe house is a place that you can go to that nobody else knows about. I was taught that not only do you have a place that you can commune with your comrades, but every person needs to have a place that they can go to that nobody else knows about. And this, for the reason being, and we always thought about betrayal. We always thought about people flipping and snitching and getting busted and can't take the pressure, being tortured, can't take the pressure, and all of a sudden, whoever they want to make a case is, they have a witness.
Your instinct is to fight, you know, not to flight, you know. Our instinct has to be to let ourselves be embraced by all of the people who wanted to embrace us and wanted to help us and wanted to keep us alive.
Check.